guys. Welcome back to the show for another week of fun. Before we get into things, don't forget to subscribe to all of our social media. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and here on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Like, comment. Tell us who you guys want us to react to next, because we love suggestions.
We do.
That's how we learn.
Yeah.
So, who we gonna react to today?
We are going to react to BTOB.
Hey!
So we're actually very, 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 very familiar with this group.
We are.
I realized I'm actually up to date with most of their music.
They're like full group promotions.
Yeah. But I know it's been a while since I've just kind of looked at them. And
they didn't have as many subunits last time you looked at them, right?
Exactly. So I'm like, let's talk about them. Let's do it then. So yeah, so as we've mentioned, they are active and there are currently 6 members right now. They actually debuted in 2012. So yeah, it's going to be 10 years next year?
Going to be 10 years next year.
Yeah.
High school graduation, 10 years.
Oof. Yeah.
Oof was right.
Oof. But yeah, so their color is a blue, slow blue. And their fandom name is Melody. So we are Melodies.
We are.
So I actually do consider myself a Melody.
I wish I had one of their light sticks because their light sticks so cool.
They are.
Maybe I'll buy one.
Since we are pretty familiar with them, we're just going to briefly go over the members. Those dorks, basically. They're so crazy.
They are you look at them and they look all cute and serious and professional, and then it's like you watch them on any variety show, any interview, and it's
yeah, they're crazy. They're very crazy.
They are, but we love them for it.
I love them for that. And honestly, I did go through a bit more of their history. I wasn't as familiar with everything that has happened.
It's been quite a bit.
Yeah, so I was I learned a lot, but in general, the members themselves, I think we know them pretty well.
I do.
So
let's start with our first member.
Yeah, let's do it. So our first member is Kwang. So he is the leader and the main vocalist. He's very much the main vocalist. That man has some pipes in him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he is a 1990 liner, and his specialties are vocals, and he plays the piano. So he is South Korean, and his favorite color is blue. So he's actually considered the father of the group. As usual, there's a mommy and a daddy.
Almost always.
He's like, might not be your father, but I'm your daddy. Or what did he say? I forget how it goes.
Yeah, he might not be your father, but he's your daddy, right?
Yeah, boy, I was your daddy, or something like that from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but anyway, he's actually started.
I'm gonna picture him as him now.
No, okay. So he's actually been in a lot of musicals.
So
that's his side thing, I guess, aside from the group. Monte Cristo, Boucher's Vegetable Store, Hamlet, Goddess is Watching, Three Musketeers, and so forth. I think there's more, but those are the main ones. And he actually released his first solo album, Forest Entrance, last year in June. Because he actually enlisted. It was just crazy looking back. I remember when he was like, oh, bye guys, in 2018, and then he got discharged last year. And it's
and that's
what?
A year ago, basically.
It's crazy. It baffles me.
nuts.
Granted, I kind of just went MIA while he was in military service, basically.
So it worked out.
Yeah. So our next member is Minhyuk, and he is the lead rapper, lead dancer, vocalist, and the visual. He is he's another 1990 liner. And he likes writing lyrics, composing music. He likes to make raps. He loves exercise, which is the main one. I remember he's the sporty guy of the group, and he does acrobatics. So he's also South Korean, and he actually became the temporary leader when Kwang was enlisted, and then he actually was the leader until he enlisted himself. So his favorite colors are black and white. I'm like, huh.
Same, bro, same.
And he's actually the mama of the group. Mama. He actually wanted to become a soccer player. So I've seen videos of him playing soccer, and just he's pretty good. He's a very formidable soccer player. But it's funny we mentioned that he's all into exercising and athletics and stuff, because he actually sweats a lot. He's known to be the one to sweat the most out of the group. and you see videos of him performing, and he's just like dripping.
I'm like, there's always that one person.
You.
Yes.
I'm like, you, dude.
I'm normally that person.
Yes, you normally.
I don't even have to do anything. Like, I can go on like a walk, and I'll come back and be like, when did I take a shower?
It rained? No. Okay.
Basically.
Yeah. So he's actually an actor. I know he starred in a lot of dramas, movies, and web dramas. And he actually released his own album in January 15 of 2019 under his stage name Huta? I don't know.
I don't know either.
But he actually did enlist in the military in 2019, but because of everything that was going on in COVID, he actually got discharged earlier in September. So
nice.
I'm like, COVID sucks, but at least you got him out earlier.
That's true.
So on to our third member, Chang-soo. Now this guy's crazy. First off the bat, he is a crazy guy. No, he's hilarious. I love him. Huh?
Such an innocent face.
But he's like, you know. He's a lead vocalist. He's a 1991 liner, and his specialties include the piano and the drums. And to make us laugh.
For real.
He is South Korean as well, and his favorite color is black. So he has terrible fear of heights. So I'm like, no. Someone's so, like, lively. It's just, I can't imagine him being scared, you know? And it's just like, I want to protect you.
I was just going to say, it's okay because we'll protect him.
Exactly. So he likes all types of foods except for pudding. And I'm like, that's very random.
Random and specific at the same time.
Yeah. And he makes a lot of silly faces a lot of the time. And it's like, that's why I'm like, this guy is like the craziest one out of the whole group. Like the fact that these guys aren't in like variety shows as much. I'm like,
shame.
This is a shame because they're so hilarious.
They're so funny.
I love to watch them. Like they have such great chemistry. They're friends. You can see it. Like
they're
these
actually
dorks are friends. Yeah.
They're so dumb but amazing.
I know. So among the members, Chang-soo is known to be the Tom or the Jerry, I don't know, of the group alongside Sungjae. Like they're Tom and Jerry.
That's
and
cute.
I've seen them in videos just like back and forth. I'm like, these guys. So he actually was the first member to debut his own solo album called BMP 82.5. And this is where I'm like, well, we're going to react to some subunit stuff because we're both up to date with their actual whole group stuff. But we may react to some of the solo stuff, maybe. I mean, a lot of them have a lot of solo stuff.
Them have solo stuff.
We're going to have to be selective, but maybe, right? We'll see. But he actually did enlist in the military service in 2019, and he was also discharged early in 2020 because of COVID. So
only positive of COVID.
Yeah. So our next member is Hyunsik. So he is a main dancer and lead vocalist. And if I'm being honest, aside from the rap line, like they're all vocalists.
Oh, dude.
Arguably, they're all like.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're weakest vocalist is like
the weakest vocalist I saw him perform in a singing show, and he beat everyone. And that's the weakest vocalist.
The weak vocalist. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, Hyunsik is a 1992 liner, so his specialties include vocals. Obviously, have you seen this guy sing jazz music? Like, it's so beautiful. Well, he's like,
I'm not even surprised.
Yeah. So he is also really good in composition, making lyrics, guitar, and piano. Which makes sense because his father's also a singer. In
those jeans.
In them jeans, for sure. So he's South Korean, and his favorite color is red. And I don't know, to me, he's always been kind of like on the swab, like, I'm a man. Aside from Minhyuk, he's like the other one, but like he's more like, I'm sophisticated. And I say this because he can hold his liquor the best out of everybody. And I'm like, I can see that. I can see it. Strong, you know? And he actually had his first solo album in 2019, Rendezvous. And he actually enlisted last year in the military. So right now, if we do the math, there's 4 members out and 2 are in the military. I say this because our next member is Peniel, and he's actually born in Chicago, so he doesn't have to do military service. It's always nice to have those that like aren't gonna go anywhere. But he is actually a lead rapper and a vocalist, and he's a 1993 liner. He is good at playing the guitar, and he likes to act, and he's actually a former trainee from JYP. He actually learned so his strength is speaking English, Korean. He's working on it, but I always find it funny because he said this is like common knowledge. He's like, I've learned Korean cuss words from Sunjae. Because I've seen videos of like, obviously they get like beeped out, but it's like, what word were you saying? He's like, say this, and he's like, beep beep beep, and he's like, what did I just say? It's like, and everyone's like laughing, and I'm like, these guys. Anyway, so he was actually the last member to join BTOB, and in recent times, he's actually been known for having hair loss. So we did see him, like I feel like it was really cool when he came out to just kind of say it, like, hey, I have this condition. This is why I've worn hats, and this is why I'm shaving my head. But I'm like, this is me. Like, this is what I have to go through, and like, it's been a whole challenge, But like, I'm not gonna hide it anymore. And like, I feel like he got a lot of respect out of people, like, and just that was really cool. I was like, yeah, dude, like, fuck it, like, wear hats and be proud of being like having like a shaved head. Like, who cares? Like, you're attractive.
He was hot with hair. He's hot without it too.
Yep. So that was like 2-3 years ago when that like became a thing, because like people did wonder like, why does he always wear hats, like what, and he came out with that, and I'm like, nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of, and he's proud of it. I think at this point, like, it's who he is. Anyway, he also does podcasting.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what's like, you're like waiting for it. Like, that's like, I think for me personally, like the thing that like I know he does most recently, and that's like what I'm like. I see him on the internet.
Their
and it's
podcast,
like his podcast
is
stuff.
really funny.
It's funny.
It's so funny.
So he does a podcast called Get Real.
Real.
Yeah, along with Ashley from Ladies Code and BM from Card, and they have
awesome. Great chemistry together. Their podcast is so funny. Highly recommended. Dive Studios.
Yup. Thank you, Dive Studios, for making this happen. I was telling my friend the other day, I was like, man, like, that was such a genius thing to do from Dive Studios. Collect these like speakers, English speakers, and kind of create a whole like K-pop podcast genre, but like not necessarily about K-pop too, because they talk about other stuff.
Right, because that's basically what they all have in common.
Exactly, that's what brought them together.
In the K-pop industry, but they talk about different things.
Yes, and that's awesome, and that's just so smart. And I'm like, we're all just hearing them, and I don't know.
I love Dive Studios. I'm a fan.
Yeah, same. But anyway, our maknae is Sungjae. I feel like everyone
knows him. I feel
probably like, so when are you talking about him? I'm like, wait, he's a baby, so he has to go last. So he is a 1995 liner, and he does vocals, and he loves to snowboard. Which I'm like, I didn't know that about him. I'm like, nice.
I didn't know. That's super cool.
So he's South Korean. I feel like we always mention like, oh, they're South Korean because there's at least one member that isn't from South Korea, which is Peniel, because he's from the States.
Yep.
Yeah. So his favorite colors are black and red. And he actually did an audition for JYP, and they dropped him on the final round. I'm like, these people are missing out. Because this guy is talented. Because he is also a phenomenal actor.
Oh, yeah.
He's been in
a
lot of Korean dramas.
That's what a lot of people know him from.
Yes.
And then they're like, wait, he sings?
Yes! Yeah, I think his, like, breakout role in, like, acting was School 2015, Who Are You? Because I think he was the second lead, but I think he stole everyone's hearts. Oh. Second lead syndrome.
That's how it goes.
It's a thing. And he was super hilarious in Goblin. I'm like, this guy. But anyway, he was also in a parody group called Big Byung.
I forgot about that existed.
Until
I'm reading the notes and I was like trying to contain it on the inside. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot that existed.
I forgot about it too, so I was doing the research. I'm like, oh yeah, he was in this. So he was in this along with Vix and Hyuk and with GOT7's Jackson.
Oh my god, I forgot that existed.
Me too.
That was so ridiculous and funny.
I know. So he actually enlisted in the military last year. So I did the math earlier. Like him and Hyunsik are in the military, and then the other three are done, and then there's Peniel. He's just like, I'm doing podcasts.
It's like, guys. I've been done the whole time, guys.
Because I knew how to do it. But yeah.
Well, it's not a bad thing, because then the members that are in should be getting out not too long.
Not too long,
then,
yeah.
so
and then they're
going
going to music because I'm ready.
I'm ready too.
I'm ready. But
we do have one more to talk about.
It makes me so
a little salty.
I'm salty and sad, and just I remember Summer and I were having this conversation sometime last year.
Yeah.
Or like the year before that, and we're like, it's crazy how there's groups that have the curse, the 7-year curse, or like groups that like have lost a member, and we're like,
oh my gosh, and the groups we were mentioning that were untouched.
Yeah, we mentioned Shiny, and I think we all know what happened there. Obviously,
we mentioned GOT7.
We mentioned GOT7, and we mentioned BTOB, and we were like, so this was 2016 when we're talking about that.
16, 17 probably.
Around that. Then it's been a while because we were talking. Because then, like, I know we had the conversation after though too, because we knew what happened with Shiny, obviously, and then we talked about like, okay, well that happened, So what other groups are left like intact or whatever, and we're like
Fix. GOT7, BTOB, and then, now we just allude what's happened to GOT7. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. I feel like we always like bring it up, but we never say anything about it.
Has lost a member.
Yeah. And then I remember I was like, remember when we talked like prior to what happened in Shiny, and then like we kind of talked again about the groups, and then like last year we're like, remember how we talked about that, and I'll look at just everything that's happened.
Yeah.
And BTOB was one of those groups that I was like, they're hilarious, they have good chemistry. Like I don't see any of the I was like, I don't see any of the members leaving just because they don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, they're all friends.
Yeah, you can tell they were all good friends. Yeah, you can tell they're all really good friends. You can tell I loved what they did, and I didn't see any member leaving personally, not because of like them, but unfortunately, yeah, like last year, Hyun left. Well, he had to leave because he was investigated for using marijuana, and we all know how the South Koreans feel about that.
Well, it's illegal, super illegal there. Like, I realized, so like in the United States, it's illegal in some parts of the country and legal in others. But
which is very confusing.
Even the states in which it is illegal, here, I feel like there's still a level of like tolerance or acceptance that doesn't exist in South Korea. I mean, like I feel like if you do that here in a place that's illegal, I feel like it's more of like a slap on the wrist, like no, you shouldn't have done that, you're a dumbass. I feel like there it's more like a death sentence.
I mean, especially from the public, because I feel like legally, like you lose your job. Like, you can, you can go to jail. Like, but like from everyday like common people, like they're like, yeah, whatever, people have done it.
Unless maybe you were like a super big like dealer or something. Like most people are.
But in Korea, we all know that it's like, obviously there's, legal repercussions, and also like people, the public are like, you're a bad person. Like, so when he started being investigated, he had to leave BTOB. And we were very sad about that, because we're like, come on, dude. And it's sad because like I kind of saw him being surprised. That person. No, I wasn't surprised because it's him.
I wasn't surprised, but I was just more like, dude, you can't be dumb. Like, you're a public figure.
I know, and it's
I was more upset with that, I think.
Yeah, and we're like, in one of our groups that we thought would stay for like together forever type of thing. We're like, well, there goes another group. Like, it's sad. And anyway, yeah, he left in late 2020, literally like
the last
day of 2020. But he was the main rapper and the vocalist, and he actually composed a lot of music and did a lot of rapping for them. He was like the main rapper. So I do wonder how it's going to be now when the two that are in military come back, and Peniel is going to step up. He's going to step up.
Peniel's going to work on his Korean.
I know, but
well, it's just hard though, because like Ilfun and Peniel had different styles of rapping, which I felt complemented each other, because like not everyone has to be a heavy hitting rapper to be a good rapper.
Yeah. So I feel like for me, like, a lot of in other groups, like a lot of members have left that we know. I mean, a lot of a lot of groups that we've reacted to, we didn't really know, so we didn't really feel the departure. But this is a group that we both really love, so we felt that. I was like, man,
it hurt.
It did.
It's been a while since I felt like a departure hurt.
Yeah.
This one hurt.
Yeah, because in some groups you can just see it. You're like, that group, you can tell the member wasn't comfortable there, or like they want to do their own thing, and This one is just kind of like, oh. But anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of part of the history. Kind of went on that realm. But let's talk about just them, pre-debut and just onward. Okay. What do you say? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, since it's almost 10 years of history.
Crazy.
I know. We should, just go through it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
And bear with us, because here we go. So, in pre-debut, actually, I didn't know the pre-debut history. Mm-hmm. I wasn't very familiar with it, honestly.
I knew a little bit.
You knew a little bit. So, actually, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 original members. Yoon Kwang, Min Hyuk, Hyun Sik, Il Hyun, and a member, person that was going to be a member called Minwoo. So he was actually in the list of the original members. And they actually appeared in a sitcom called I Live in Cheongdam-dong. Just as aspiring boy band working towards their debut, which is essentially what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And so that's how kind of they came to light, to the public. But unfortunately, Minwoo, he dropped out. And, from the confirmed list of members, and people were pretty upset about that. Fans were like, what? So yeah, he didn't end up debuting with them, and I didn't realize there was a whole thing. I was like, oh snap, I didn't know that they were in a sitcom. I didn't know they had another member that was going to be in the group. But yeah, he actually had health issues, so he wasn't able to join the group. But he remained a trainee under Cube, but he actually, once he recovered, he still had a chance to debut, but he debuted in a Sea Clown, but he went on to Yedong Entertainment. So I wonder.
That's why I knew this.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And that's why I was like, I wonder what happened there, though, because there's always more to the story. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel bad for him because Seacom fell apart without being able to achieve anything, which was disappointing.
I know, but yeah, I didn't realize this. And now that you mentioned it, I think you probably did talk about this, but it's been way too long. But yeah, I was like, oh snap. The thing I didn't know for sure is a sitcom. I didn't realize that at all. I was like, oh wow.
I'm gonna have to go look that up.
Mm-hmm. I know. I kind of want to see that myself. See what it's all about, because they are just, they're dorks. But anyway. So in 2020, I was going to say in 2020 they debuted. I'm like, wait a second. That's wrong.
What?
In 2012, they made their debut. They actually had a showcase, which was streamed in their official YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Yep. And they performed their challenge track, Insane.
Such a good song.
That's such a good song.
I can't believe it's a debut song.
I know.
So crazy.
It's so good. And obviously they released their self-titled debut EP, Born to Be.
Hey.
Yeah, and it included 2 title tracks, Insane, which is the one that they did in their showcase, and Imagine. So we all know that their members do participate usually in the writing of their songs, so they participate in writing lyrics and the raps of that album.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then they actually released an Asia special edition of this album in May of that year, with a previously released track, Father, that was actually, and Irresistible Lips, and these were actually revealed in the sitcom. So I thought that was really cool. That's cool. That's what I was like, that's why I didn't realize, I never heard about these songs, because sitcom. But yes, so then they actually, with this album, since it was the Asia special, they actually did promotions in Asia. They did a press conference in Singapore. They went to Indonesia. They had a showcase there in Jakarta. And yeah, they actually had a performance in Japan in the K-Dream live concert. So in the Tokyo Dome, along with other groups. So yeah, they did promotions in Asia, off the bat. Not even focusing in Korea. They're
awesome.
Just some Korea stuff, and then let's go to all Asia.
Let's go everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then later in that year, in September, they released their second EP called Press Play, along with the title track, Wow, another fantastic song.
I think that was the first one I ever saw a music video for.
Mm-hmm. So after they finished promotions for that, they, went overseas again. Still in Asia. They went to Taiwan, had a fan meet there, actually had other fan meets in Thailand and Cambodia. So they were really hardcore promoting in just, Asia. Which I think is really cool.
That's how to do it.
Yeah. So then they had their first digital single called Second Confession in April of at this point we're in 2013. And they promoted this in M Countdown. So they finally were doing that local, I guess, domestically in Korea. And then they actually released a music video called When I Was Your Man. And this was kind of, I guess, a special release because it was before they officially did a comeback in September. And in 2014, I'm kind of going through this. I'm like losing my breath. I'm like, dang.
Hey, that's how I felt with Super Junior.
Super Junior was 15 years.
6 more years than this.
I know. That's crazy. I give her props for that because I'm like,
I was really like
out of breath because I'm out of breath and I'm barely 2 years in?
2 years in.
Yeah.
All right, come on, you can do it.
I can do this. I can do
this.
You can do it. In early 2014, they released their fourth EP called Beep Beep Ba Ba. Yep. So it obviously includes the title track with the same title, and it's actually produced by composers Brave Brothers. I'm like, I recognize them. Brave
Brothers. Sound.
Yep. And it actually ranked first on the Gaon album chart for the 9th week of 2014. So that was really cool that they ranked high in there. And they actually started promoting that song and that album in M Countdown. So if you really think about it, I feel like they started off in Asia and then we're like, okay, let's take it back.
It's time to go back to Korea.
Do the shows and all that
stuff.
Let's
go to the motherland.
I know. But then they did sign a contract with a Japanese talent agency called Kiss Entertainment to, have promotions in Japan. I'm like, okay, there it goes. There it goes. Took them 2 years. And they released the Japanese version of WOW, and that's how they began promoting it just specifically in Japan.
Cool.
So then in December of 2014, they released their winter EP, and I'm like, winter. Finally, they're doing that type of EP called The Winter's Tale. This actually contained 5 tracks, and they had the lead single, The Winter's Tale, which I love. I love that song. And it was actually composed by Hyunseok and Ilhoon, which at that point, it's not shocking because they've been very active in composing and creating music for their group. 2015. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. So they actually had their first official fan meeting in Japan. Since I guess they signed with Japan the year before, it was kind of time to focus in Japan.
Focus their efforts there.
Because they did a concert special. It wasn't really their concert. And that's about it. Maybe they had a fan meet. So now they're actually having actual fan meets, not just in one place, but in multiple cities. So that's pretty cool. And they actually released their first original Japanese single album called Future. And it actually sold about 70,000 copies, which is pretty cool. And it ranks second in Japan's Oricon singles chart. So going in strong. They're starting strong there. I'm like, nice. And then they finally released their full-length album complete. That's such a good album. So in June of 2015, I remember that.
Yes.
We were freaking out when it came out.
I remember my struggle of trying to buy that album.
Oh my God, I know. So that obviously had It's Okay. And that's such a good song. I love that song.
So good.
And within the album, they actually had the acoustic version of Insane. And
that's so good too.
It was such a good album. BTOB is so good.
I'm gonna have to go listen to all this.
Yeah, and actually ranked top in a lot of the major charts in South Korea. It was a good album. It really was. And then they went off to Japan. They released a single called Summer Color My Girl, kind of doing the dance that groups do, Korea, Japan.
Of course.
And then they finally released in 2015 in October their 7th EP called I Mean, with the title song Way Back Home. And that's another really good song.
They're all good songs, man.
And with this song, I remember this. Do you remember this? They received their first music show win after 3 years and 7 months.
I was just so shocked that it took that long. I know. Was like, what's wrong with people?
I know, but it's a good song.
It finally happened.
Oh, I know. I'm so proud of them. I was so happy. I remember the time. I was like, yes. And then they held their second solo concert, Born to Beat Time. And their concert sold out in 5 minutes, dude.
Oh, it's not even surprising.
You know how the K-pop people do? They just be selling like that. I don't know how
everywhere.
I remember reading into the system of how that works. I'm like, I wouldn't be able to go then. I'm like, I don't know how.
You should buy them from and then you add in the fact that we don't speak Korean.
Yeah, that would suck.
We can't read it.
Yeah. So yeah, at this point they were known like to just release all of ballad music, and that's what gained them that success. Because I mean, which makes sense because the vocal line is fucking strong. Oh, yeah.
But then I feel like it also like sets them apart because there wasn't many ballad groups at that time. That's true.
Which just being that ballad group of the time, I guess, earned them multiple nominations for a lot of year-end awards, being the Best Vocal Group Award, or like the Ballad Award for the song It's Okay. So they ended up winning in the 30th Golden Disc Awards and in the 25th Solo Music Awards for these songs. So I was super proud. I was like, yes, they're being recognized, because to me, it's like they're a vocal group.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, their vocals are just here. And not just like their vocalists, but just like all of them.
All the vocals.
So I was super proud. I was a super proud fan at that point. I was like, yes.
You should be.
In 2016, they released their full Japanese single. And then that was just like in February. In March, they released their 8th EP, Remember That. Remember that. Which concluded their ballad trilogy. I was like, no. I mean, I was happy because I'm like, you know, I kind of want them to do something else, but at the same time, I'm like,
they're so good at the ballads that you're like, oh, but they're so good at everything.
Yeah. So then they went off to Japan again, released a single, Love, L-U-B. I'm telling you, back and forth, it's dance. And they finally performed in KCON 2016 in New Jersey. I remember being like jealous because I wanted to be there, but I was in college and I couldn't afford it.
Yeah, or like finishing college.
Yeah. And then later that year in 2016, they released their 9th mini album, New Men. I remember that's a pretty like shiny album.
It is. That one was hard to get.
With the track "I'll Be Your Man."
I'll be your man.
Yeah, it's such a good song. But yeah, of course, the song was written, composed, and arranged by Im Hyun-sik, which I mean, that's his specialty. But yeah, after they promoted with New Men, of course, they went back to Japan. They released their full-length album 24/7, and it topped all of the charts over there, which, I mean...
Are we surprised?
No, not at all. And here we're finally in 2017. Hey! We're getting there. Almost there. They had their third solo concert, BTOB Time, and they released... This was like early in January, and then in March. So I feel like there's a pattern with them. Concerts at the beginning of the year, then Korea, and then like Japan, Korea, then like a special like for winter, then again concert, and it's like on like the past few years. That's what I've noticed.
It does.
So they released their 10th mini album, Feel 'Em, another good one.
That one was good.
With the pre-release single Someday and the lead single Movie. We both got that album too because it's fantastic. And then again, they went back to Japan for Brand New Days, and of course, it was up high in the charts. So then, from that point on, this is when I kind of started, not paying attention.
Falling off.
I kind of went off the grid slowly at around this time too. They started having the Piece of BTOB project. So this is when the members released their solo digital singles. Which I'm like, I don't think I've listened to those. Have you listened to those?
A few of them, but not all of them.
Okay. Yeah. And then in 2017, this is when I'm like, I'm so proud of them. They won their first Bon song. So, it's kind of like what? What would that be translated in English? Like achievement award? No,
yeah,
something like that.
Kind of, but no.
It would be. I'm about to look it up, guys. It's like a main award. I don't know. It's
a really big deal.
Yeah, but I was super proud of them for winning. It's kind of just like a main award. I don't know what would the English translation be, but
it's a big deal. It's a big award.
But they won that in the Soribada Best K-Music Awards. So I was proud of them. I remember reading about that. I'm like, guys, my boy's being recognized. So after the conclusion of the Piece of BTOB project, they released their second studio album called Brother Act. I obviously was onto that. I was like, Missing You, such a great song. And they did their four solo concerts. And we haven't even seen them because, like, they're over there. They need to come over here.
They need to come over here.
Hopefully when the two remaining military boys come out, maybe they'll come over here. If COVID is better,
if they could at least just come to our country.
I'll go see them. I'll go to you guys. Just come here.
If they could come to our state,
yes,
that would be best. But if they could just come to our country, we'll save up. And we'll
go visit you wherever you go.
Yeah.
Basically. So at this point, we're in 2018.
Hey, okay.
We're getting closer.
We are.
We're getting very, very closer. So in 2018, they actually were appointed as ambassadors of Korea, like tourism organization. I'm like, that's super cool. So cool, right? To be recognized that. And that's because, they had recognition overseas and they had a lot of popularity overseas. So
makes sense.
That's awesome. Makes sense. And I was super proud of them for that. And they actually made their debut in June in Billboard's Social 50 chart.
That's awesome.
And they released their 11th mini album, This Is Us, on June 18. So because of this release, that's how they made it to the charts in Billboard, which is really cool. And then I remember reading about this in July of that year, they all renewed their contracts with Kiev, and I was like, thank God. Thank God. So that's why I was like, they're strong. They're going strong. Remember?
Yes, I do.
And then they had their 6th solo concert. This is when they started going into the military because Hugh was randomly selected as the second leader during V Live, and I was like, this happened during V Live? Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then they released their special album titled Our Moment. I remember I've seen that. I've listened to that. It was a song Beautiful Pain. And In Kwang was still in it, so that was really cool. And then in 2019, they celebrated their 7th anniversary, and and since like Minhyuk was going off to the military, they picked a new leader. So Peniel was selected, but like they had kind of already decided, nah, Sungjae's gonna be the 3rd leader.
Which I thought was hilarious because I'm like the baby.
I know, Magne with a lot of experience though. So. At this point, they released a digital single called "Sorry," and this was an unreleased song with the guys that were enlisted. They still, participated in this. I don't think I've listened to that actually.
I'm not sure if I've heard that one either.
Maybe we should listen to it. I don't know if there's a video to that, but
look,
we can see. And then finally in 2020, a lot hasn't happened because of COVID and members were being discharged because of COVID protocol and such. But then Hyun-sik and Sunjae enlisted, and also did Il-hyun, but we know what happened because of his usage of marijuana, or the investigation, I guess. But because what ended up happening? Did they confirm?
I actually don't remember. I think I just assumed.
I assumed too. I'm sorry if it was confirmed that he hadn't. We assumed he had. But anyway, essentially, he was charged for I'm reading further in what I wrote. He was charged for violating the Narcotics Control Act. So yeah. And then in 2021, here we go again. Kingdom Legendary War. It comes up every time.
It comes up every time.
Every time. The 4 current members are currently participating in that show that started last month. So honestly, I feel like they're doing that. Is it bad that I'm like they're doing that to keep themselves a little bit entertained? Like, fuck it, let's do it. Because our 2 members aren't there. Like, I guess they could release music too. They could, and they have. But like obviously, I think this is. For me personally, I see it as a way to keep them sharp, keep them like
on their toes.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of the groups they're competing with in Kingdom are a little bit younger, I think, than them too.
So
gotta keep our old men on their toes.
Yup. We say this because there's subgroups. There's BTOB Blue, which we've listened to the songs and stuff. This happened in 2016. They released their song called "Stand by Me." And then in 2018, they released When It Rains. But I brought this up because BTOB For You. So I say there's 4 members, right, that aren't in the military. And they actually created a subgroup called, BTOB for You. This is, I haven't listened to this. So that's where I'm like, But yeah, they did it for 2 reasons, because they're still here. They're like, basically, we're still here and we're for you. Yeah. Basically is why they're named that. And I'm intrigued to see, like, once the 2 members are in the military service, when they come back, like, if they're still gonna promote, like, later, like, will that happen? Maybe. Why not?
Why not?
But yeah, they did Show Your Love, and they they debuted this song in November, so I know nothing about it. What about you?
I remember it coming out, and I feel like I saw, like, pictures and maybe a thumbnail or something on Facebook, but I don't think I actually listened to the whole song.
Yeah, I haven't. I saw it too. I'm like being released, but I didn't.
I know I haven't seen the video.
Well, I know that's one song we're gonna react to, and then we can figure out what else to watch. We can
figure out what else.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, I'm ready to get
to it. So after just talking back and forth, we were like, what should we listen to? We had one option, of course. We're obviously gonna react to Show Your Love. That's
course.
the BTOB for You song. But then we're like, what else should we do? And we're like, solo. We're like, they all have songs, and it's like a little bit overwhelming. And then we're like, let's see if Sorry has like a video, and it's like a concert version.
Yeah.
And we're like, I don't know. So we decided to do the following. So we're gonna watch Wow, which is their most viewed video. And we are gonna watch the song that gave them their first music show win way back home. So yeah, and then obviously we're gonna finish off with Show Your Love.
Yes,
because
that's new to us.
That is very much new, and I finish it off like that.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do
it. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I think I mentioned before, Wow was the first music video I ever saw by him.
Really? Mine was Beep Beep, actually, and I was like, okay, these guys are great. Let's do it. Take us back.
Take us way back. So young. Oh my god, that hair is so bad. Oh, Peniel's hair though was beautiful.
I know. I'm sorry, it's kind of funny. It's like their hair. Ah, he's a baby.
So young. Some of them look so different and some don't.
Well, I mean, here he looks the same.
Like, that's
he hasn't changed. Sungjae has grown so much. He's like.
Yeah, I feel like Minhyuk looks exactly the same.
He's ageless, okay? All serious? Calm down, sir. I don't think he's aged either.
Can't believe how old this music video is.
I know. That look, though, jeez.
See, K-pop dancing was so much simpler back in the day.
I know. God, I really want to see Kingdom now.
I'm really tempted.
Because it's like...
Because, like, they're on it, and then, like, we've reacted to Stray Kids and ATs, and they're on it. Who else is
The Boys?
The Boys.
Who else is on that?
Because that's only, 4 groups we're missing, too. It's been ages since I've seen this music video.
I know. So, Icon and SF9 are in that too.
And we know who they are.
Yeah. Look at Danielle, he's so squishy. He was squishy.
Tennille's definitely aged. Not in like a bad way, but
No,
I mean, like
no.
he's not like a little baby anymore.
No. I'm like,
I know.
he hasn't aged either.
Huh?
He hasn't aged either. Neither has Chengsu, but I don't think so. Actually, most of them haven't aged. He has, so.
I remember when you saw this, we're like, oh, he made her disappear.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey.
With the older logo, right?
Yeah, they've had a couple.
Yeah. That was good.
That
That
was
took me
good.
back. Definitely took me back.
I feel old.
So, way back home.
Mm-hmm.
The feels.
The feels.
The
for that first music show
feels.
win.
Yeah, it's such a good song. Ugh. So this is like the whole like 8-minute one. Are we gonna do this? I'm
not
down.
complaining. It's been a long time since I've seen this one too.
I know. His hair looked good.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I know. It'd be like that.
I feel like we're in like 20 seconds in and I already have feels.
So crazy how, like, at that age, like, he can pass, like, as a high schooler.
Hey, I think if I tried hard, I could pass for a high schooler.
Oh, dude, same. There he is. That's him. Yeah, that's them. That's them for real in real life.
Everyone thinks they're acting, but it's just themselves.
That's them. Ugh. I'm so sad.
I know.
That's fun.
So, like, that could be us, too.
Huh? That would be us.
too.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back to Korea, dude.
Okay, I'm down. When do you want to go? I got vacation time.
Well, whenever we don't have to quarantine for 14 days.
Good point. Let's make a pit stop in Japan, okay?
Always. That's been the plan. And this is where I'm like, fuck, I don't have the subtitles. I don't know what's going on.
You know it in your heart.
Yeah. Gosh, some Roman sounds real good right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably like, yeah, I'm eating this while I'm acting, but like, yeah. That brand's good.
Oh, that looks good.
Aww. I love his bucket hat. Oh, cuties. They have history. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. They're just chilling. And he was like, no. I just imagine them like doing this and then laughing at them. He's like, here, we got money. It's tu mamá. Ah, sorry, that came out in Spanish. Well, that's your mother.
I still understood it.
I know. Like... I mean, I've seen this before, but I'm like, oh, look, go.
Oh.
Ow. He tried. I know. You can box! There you go. And then I was like, I remember the first time, but...
It's been such a long time since I've seen this.
Wait, what?
It's been such a long time since
I've
seen this. I'm just like, oh.
He's like, what am I doing? You gotta go. Stop being fucking fools. Love each other. Looks so bad. I forgot. And he's like, ugh. That was beautiful.
It was.
Yeah, I forgot about that video.
So good.
It is very good. Okay.
Are we ready to get to our new song?
Yes. I'm excited after having all the feels. I'm ready.
Let's have more feels.
Let's have
new feels.
More
Let's
feels.
have different feels.
Different feels. I know nothing about the song, so I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. So, ready?
Well, I'm ready for it.
Okay. Oh, let's do this. Oh no, this is gonna hurt. I feel you.
I feel like we're getting ready for more feels.
I know. Yeah. Are you reading the subtitles?
I'm trying.
It's sad. Do you think, I haven't read into it, do you think it has to do just like them talking about like the state of our world right now?
Maybe.
Right? He looks real good. It's the hair. I've done that. He does a lot of eating in the videos. I'm kidding.
Is it just me or like Peniel being bald? I feel like makes him look more like a rapper.
Yeah.
Like I feel like now he could like
he's badass.
He could bust out with some like Eminem, and I'd be like, oh yeah, man, you go for it.
And then you saw how Miyuki like he like raps, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forget he would interject here and there, but now he has to do it more. I'm assuming.
He doesn't look like a rapper either, though.
No. Peniel looks like, I'm sorry, but he looks like your Latin, like, reggaeton singer. It's, you know what I'm talking about. That's not a bad thing, but he does.
I never thought of that until you said it, but I can see it.
I'm like, and has he been working out? Because
he looks a little bit more like, like tone.
I loved it. And I really liked his, like, rap. Like Peniel's
I really liked Peniel's rap a lot.
Oh, there's more.
Oh.
They met up. That's like them. No!
I loved it.
I love it.
That went by way too fast.
I know, that did go by fast. I
loved it.
I loved it too.
That was great.
They never disappoint.
No.
Like ever.
BTOB.
I know.
I need their light stick.
Yeah.
I feel like I just say that about everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Like, you never know when they're going to come in handy.
That's true. Because then you'll be last minute trying to buy, like, albums you're all shuffling and stuff, and everyone's shuffling, and then they take some, and it's like,
I'll be sitting there with a light stick, and I'll be like, I had this for the past 8 years. Finally.
It's been 84 years. No, I'm kidding.
That's going to be me if I ever see Super Junior. I'm going to pull out that light stick and be like, I've been waiting.
I'm very happy.
I'm very content right
now. Yeah. We saw some of their old stuff. We got in the fields again. Like, we went through memory lane, and then this, and that ending was funny. They're like, whoa. It was. I was like, is it me? Am I the one that, like, because, you know, it's like they're looking at us. I'm like, am I, like, shining? That was great.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic. Well,
such a good way to end.
Yeah. Thank you for being here with us.
Yes.
We appreciate it, and
we always do.
That was great. I had fun. Yeah. Well, we see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.